There's a cold wind blowing, said the mastermind. 5 times over, deaf, dumb, and blind. There's a better way of living, a way to move around. Wanna bust wide open, just to do the sound with a dove sound. Dove sound.
Hey guys, I'm here with Tim from Wildernut on YouTube. Be sure and check him out. He's going to show us a little bit about his nomadic rig he's got set up and the lifestyle choices that he made to get him to this point.
Well, everybody, I'm Tim Coddington, Wildernut. This is my rig. I decided to get a truck as opposed to a van to do the off-road life, off-grid life, and off-road life. I spend my time traveling from Michigan in the summertime down to the Southwest in the wintertime where it's warmer. And I decided to get a truck so I can get to the back road country, off-road, usually kind of rough, muddy, rocky. So I wanted the 4-wheel drive and the ability to go any place I want to go. I decided on this lightweight topper rig. It's a Shell by Off-Road. It's only 850 pounds, so I didn't have to do any modifications to a half-ton truck. And it suits my needs. So I'll show you around here a little bit. Here's the tools I usually have at easy access just on the inside. I unpacked them so that you'll see what I have. Constant education, continuous learner, that's me. Foraging, mushrooms, botany. I like to know what's in my environment all across the country. Doing bushcraft in my hometown and where I go all the time, I found to be pretty easy after a while. You know, you're used to the resource, you're used to what's there. And right now, I'm from Michigan originally. I'm in Wisconsin, and there's different plants, different flora. When you get down to the desert, it's totally different. Brought my hammock. There ain't no trees. so you know, learning these things and the different plants in the area is just a lot for me. And I think for sustainability reasons, after a while, you should be able to go anywhere and be able to adapt to your environment and know what's there. And like I was telling people yesterday, it's not really about knowing exactly what plant it is a lot of the times for bushcraft and what you can use it for. It's just the properties of that product. You know, is it fine and thin? Is it strong? That kind of thing. So in the desert, it's a lot different, but then it's kind of the same. So here's the tools I use. My books. I'm kind of into solar. You'll see that in a little bit here. I have my 60-watt Jackery panel, a 28, an 18, and then I have my Jackery, which is a battery pack. It can be charged with solar with the Jackery 60-watt here. They make 100-watt too. And then down below that, I made my own, I call it Gillery. You got Jackery and Gillery. I use it at my summer camp to get water. So it's a lithium battery pack. It's got 210 watt hours, lasts a long time. USB 12 volt. I didn't worry about 110. I don't have anything that's 110. I do everything off of 12 volt. I don't have an inverter on the truck. It's just more efficient that way. If you can do it with 12, you don't have that loss with your inverter. And it's worked for me so far. My bushcraft knife, my Fowler shovel, and I love that. That thing comes in handy. I use it all the time in the desert, pretty much once or twice a day if you get my drift. Saw, a couple axes, and kind of my own little bug out bag for my bug out truck. It's got everything in there that I need. The awning, I don't use that too often. That's more for shade, but if you're not paying attention and it's not staked down, it can wreck everything. So I just have it out for if it's rainy and calm or if it's sunny. And I have these nice weights here that keep it weighed down in the meantime. We'll go inside and show you what I have on the inside here. I do have a mat down here. I don't have a rug. In the desert, it's just a bunch of little rocks. I just kick them off and pick my shoes off, come inside. Don't mind the floor, it's trash. It's been muddy and rained here all week, if not frozen like this morning. We'll start over here on the right. Just trash, got some sandals down there. Won't be needing those anytime soon to get down to the desert. some bear spray. This is all my sleeping stuff for cold weather. Got my sleeping socks, my gloves, my West Michigan K9 hat, Berkey water filter. I won't be using that when I get to the desert. I actually have to pump it out if it's going to be cold, so it don't freeze. This is my breakfast box here. Usually has my my breakfast mix. I have nuts, granola, oatmeal, coffee every morning. This is kind of like a little junk thing here. Has stuff up here like bananas, fruit I keep up there, headlamp. This is Rubbermaid totes I use for a seat when I'm working on stuff. I can see all the way around from here. But it has my clothes and maybe some camera gear. I have a solar system and it runs my refrigerator. That's pretty much mostly what I need it for. Keep everything cold. Eat a lot of salads. So I do like the fresh foods. And I usually go for 10 days to 2 weeks at a time out camping, and then I 2 6-gallon water jugs painted black so they don't get algae growing in them when the sun hits them. A tent, because sometimes I have to leave my campsite. I don't want to lose it, so I put a tent up. And a tripod, and this is all foods, mostly dry goods. Spaghetti, canned goods sometimes. Spaghetti, noodles, rice. My spice box, keep my cast iron in too. Pretty much cook with cast iron or stainless steel. There's kind of a junk cupboard here. Got a bunch of charging cords, and I have a 17-inch TV, lithium, rechargeable of course. And I use that on this up here if I want to have a movie night in bed. And that's also my cell phone holder for when I'm in bed and I want to watch, like YouTube videos or Alone. Alone is the only show I watch on TV. I watch YouTube or I watch Alone every year. I have to buy it because I don't have a cable subscription in my truck. I have multiple battery packs. As I say, I'm into solar, so last year I didn't have as much solar as I have this year, so I had battery packs to get me by in case I didn't have enough for my laptop, cameras, and phone, and my speakers. Most importantly, they're my company. They keep me company all day. Camper does have a furnace in it. I changed out the thermostat with a garage thermostat, so I can turn it down to 35 degrees as opposed to a home thermostat. So I just keep it down at 35 because I don't want my batteries, lithium batteries, to get cold and try to charge. That's bad for them. I don't want Berkey to freeze because last year I didn't know if it froze. You really can't tell if it's good or bad. So I replaced my filters. I don't want to do that again. I keep stuff close at hand, easy to get to. I use Velcro for everything, you can see. Just things that easy reach, easy to get to, easy to take off. Scissors, headlamp, glasses if I need to see something up close. You never know if you might need Sean with the Wild.
Hey, there you go.
Fire starter. Usually keep that around my neck. Start on the solar system. And everybody needs a Dyson. And the most important thing it does is when you get into your camper and there's bugs that got in, like mosquitoes and flies, you just turn one light on, you go, there you go. They have a bunch of flies in there. That's pretty much all that's in there right now. In the battery case here, I have a 200 amp hour Battleborn lithium ion batteries, and they are the best things ever. I had AGMs before. They were brand new. They were good. They were 2 80 amp hour lithium ion, or lithium, they were 2 80 amp hour AGM batteries, which gave me a total of 160 amp hours. But with AGMs, you can only use 50% of that if you want your batteries to last. So really, I only had 80 amp hours of storage. These Battleborn lithium ions are 100 amp hours each, so I have 200 amp hours in here, and I can use the whole 200 amp hours, and that is so nice. And these lithiums just suck up the voltage. If you get 12 watts even, it's really a minimal sunshine, you're in the shade, it'll suck every bit of that up and still be charging, and it's great. I have a few spare parts in there, fuses and that. And
now, with the exception of today, that it's really sunny, it's pretty much been cloudy here all week. What is the storage at your battery right now?
Well, let me see. Victron charge controllers and stuff, I think, are the best. I'm not getting paid by anybody for any of this, but I just research and get the best stuff I can. Here's a readout from the shunt. I'll show you what the shunt is there. We're at 94% right now, charged. So I have, it says 10 days, but the max is 10 days right now. It's colder weather right now, so the refrigerator's not, I'm actually, really cold. The refrigerator hasn't probably run in a day. But when the refrigerator is running, when it's 70 degrees out, I might lose 10-12% a day on here. But if it's cloudy and I'm parked in the shade, I'll still charge, and I'll only lose like maybe 5% a day till I get a sunny day, and then it'll charge. And probably, if I lost half my battery charge, I can charge in full sun in 3 hours, which is nice. And I'll show you why here in a minute. I ordered the Yakima tracks on top of the camper, so then I got the Thule racks on top of the Yakimas because they say all they're universal. And then I had a custom aluminum tray built for 4 Renogy 160 watt panels. Dropped those in, bolted them in, and then ran the cables down to this box that I installed on the back. I want solar equipment was originally on the inside with the batteries, but I wanted to have room for more batteries if I wanted them. Expansion and start out now. I hate to redo work if I don't have to. So I moved all the solar stuff to the outside, and then I have room for 2 more batteries if I ever want to get them on the inside. So the wires come down, they come in, they go to a 15 amp breaker, and that's so you can shut that off so no solar comes in. It's a 100 volt, 50 amp. That means you can get 100 volts, up to 100 volts from your solar panels. That's the maximum. And you can push 50 amps to your batteries for charging.
How much volts you got coming out at one time now?
Right now with the shade and all that. Well, let me look. Oh, actually, this is the shunt. So there's a couple different Bluetooths to the system. Right now we're getting 69, 73, 65. It's really weak. It's only 16.
So it can handle a lot more input than what it's getting, like more than you got up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I sized it appropriately. So solar panels, when they're rated for their wattage, that's at like 70 degrees. If it gets down to 20 degrees below zero, they're a heck of a lot more efficient, and you can overpower your system. So I have this size. It'll reach 100 volts with full sun pointing right at it, which doesn't happen unless you're on the equator or something and tropical cancer. I can go down to 20 degrees. And I don't plan on camping in any 20 degree weather anytime soon. And if I do, I would just hit my breaker, turn it off until it got warmed up, then turn it back on. Or shade part of my panel, park in the shade, whatever I had to do. I'm not really worried about that because I've had enough winter camping in my life that the desert is really nice. So yeah, I can max this out. And I have gone through actually 2 charge controllers, and the reason was I didn't have a breaker, and I was unplugging and plugging in. This is the old receptacle over here. If I had a remote solar panel down here, if I had the plug up on the roof too, and I had 2 panels up there, 100 watters, if I unplugged and plugged in, I found out that can blow your solar panel or your charge controller. So now that I have a breaker, I've done it all properly now. It's all sized properly. The wire, I did an education campaign this summer and got it right. Got the right size fuses in there. Everything should be fused. This here is the shunt. What that does is gives you the really accurate reading on your exact usage of your battery. You can tell a little bit by looking at your charge controller, but the shunt actually tells you exactly how many amps you're putting out and how many you're taking in. So this screen here tells you it's connected right to that. It's Bluetooth. Tells you I'm at 90% capacity or 94% capacity. The batteries are at 13.24 volts. I'm losing a little bit of current because it's still shady. 10 watts. I have some things charging on the inside. That's where electricity is going. And I've consumed 13.6 amp hours. So I have to charge 13.6 more amp hours into the system and it'll be fully charged. And it tells me the temperature. Lithium batteries are sensitive to being charged at below freezing temperatures. They say freezing is the limit. battle boring says 25 degrees. That's one of the reasons for the heater, so they don't freeze those. You can get a battery blanket too though, so you can go sub-zero and have that battery blanket to run off the battery.
So if it does get down to where you can't use your system, you have like gas or propane backing you up in there to keep you warm?
I sure do. Well, this won't keep me warm. That just keeps me, my food
Right,
cold.
your furnace doesn't run off that at all?
No, well, the fan.
The thermostat and the fan?
The fan, yeah.
Yeah.
I have my winter camping bag that I probably should have had out last night. It's stuffed in here. There's 2 propane tanks usually in here. There's 2 10-gallon propane or 10-pound propane tanks. This here is just a motorhome pump. I'm gonna do something out in the desert. Maybe do some gold mining. It's an easy way to flush your stuff. Yep, propane. The propane just for I have the adapter for cooking for my propane stove, and just runs my furnace. And it lasts forever because I keep it at 35. Like last night, it was down to low temperature 31 last night. That kicked on, I think, like 3-4 times maybe, just to touch it up. So it's really efficient. Even though it's the canvas, it does hold the heat pretty good. And you can get a winter kit for it as well. It's just some insulation, like the window things on the inside that keep it warmer.
Well, I like it. That kind of allows you to just drop that down and just be on the move all the time.
You drop it down, it's that tall. So I had originally planned on having the jacks and all that, so I could just pull into a campsite like this, unload and go exploring and all that, and hit all those 4-wheel drive trails, and I can do it anyway, so I don't have to drop it. I found out that it's not that bad, it's not that heavy, it's not, I can go anywhere with it, so I didn't even buy the jacks.
All right, guys, that's all we got here from the Wildernut, and you guys can check him out on, you got social medias? What do you got?
Pretty much just YouTube, Wildernut.
Pretty much YouTube. All right, and you can find the ins and the outs of hooking up this solar thing. I'm sure if you have some questions, you can just, drop something in the comments and
sure enough,
and ask about him, and we'll get out of here and let him get back to doing wildernutting.